She stumbled as laughter burst behind her, books slipping from her hands and scattering across the dusty classroom floor. One of the boys nudged another and said loudly, "Careful, genius is falling apart again." More laughter. Someone kicked her notebook further away. She froze for a second, then slowly knelt down, her fingers trembling as she gathered the pages. "Why do you even bother coming to school?" a girl added, flipping her hair. "You'll just end up nowhere."
She didn't respond.
She never did. Not because she didn't have anything to say, but because she had learned that no one listened anyway. Her name was Amara, and in that room, she was invisible unless she was being mocked. She quietly returned to her seat, ignoring the stares, but inside, something tightened. Not broken, tightened. At the front, the teacher sighed. "Class, settle down. Amara, next time, be more careful." Amara nodded softly. Even when others caused it, she was the one corrected. After school, as the others gathered in groups, laughing and making plans, Amara walked alone. Her worn-out shoes scraped the pavement. Her bag was heavy, not just with books, but with everything she carried silently. At home, things weren't easier. Her mother barely looked up from the pile of laundry. "You're late." "I stayed back to study," Amara replied. Her mother sighed. "Just make sure all this studying leads somewhere. We don't have time for dreams that don't pay." Amara swallowed.
"It will."
"You always say that," her mother muttered. That night, under a flickering bulb, Amara opened her books again. Her stomach growled, but she ignored it. Her eyes were tired, but she kept going. "You'll just end up nowhere." The words echoed again. She clenched her pen tighter. "No," she whispered to herself. "I won't." The next day, the cycle continued. Mockery. Isolation.
Doubt.
But something was slowly changing. Each insult no longer crushed her, it fueled her. During a class presentation, Amara raised her hand. The room went quiet for a second, then someone snorted. "This should be good." The teacher nodded reluctantly. "Go ahead." Amara stood up, her voice shaky at first, but steadying as she continued. She explained the topic clearly, confidently. By the end, even the teacher looked slightly surprised. But the silence didn't last. "Did you memorize that?" someone whispered loudly. "Of course she did. That's all she's good at." The laughter returned. Amara sat down again. Her chest tightened, but this time, she didn't shrink. She wrote something in her notebook instead. One day, they won't laugh. Weeks passed. The pressure increased. Exams were approaching. One afternoon, she overheard a group talking. "After graduation, I'm going abroad," one girl said. "My dad already secured me a position," another added. Amara paused behind the wall, listening. "And you?" someone asked mockingly as she walked into view. "What's your big plan?" Amara hesitated for a second. Then she said quietly, "I'm going to build something of my own." Silence. Then laughter, louder than before. "You," the boy scoffed. "Build what?" "A library of rejection letters." Even the others chuckled. Amara nodded slowly. "We'll see." She walked away, their laughter chasing her. That night, she didn't cry. She opened her books again. But this time, she also opened her laptop. Old, slow, barely working, but it was enough. She began learning new skills. Watching videos. Reading articles. Trying, failing, trying again. Days turned into nights. Nights into early mornings. Her eyes burned, but she kept going. At school, the mockery didn't stop, but she started hearing it less. Because her focus was shifting. One evening, after receiving a poor result in a mock exam, she sat alone on a bench. "Maybe they're right," she whispered. Her hands shook. For a moment, she almost closed her books. Then she remembered every laugh, every word, every moment she had been dismissed. Her jaw tightened. "No," she said again, louder this time. "I decide how this ends." From that day, everything changed. She created a strict routine. Study, practice, learn, repeat. While others spent hours on distractions, she invested in herself. At school, her grades started improving. Slowly at first, then noticeably. "Did you cheat?" one student asked. Amara looked at her calmly.
No.
Then how? She simply said, I worked. The girl rolled her eyes, but something had shifted. Even the teacher began paying more attention. Amara, he said one day, this is impressive. It was the first time he had said her name without disappointment. At home, her mother noticed too. You've been working very hard, she said one evening. Amara nodded. I have to. Her mother studied her for a moment. Just don't lose yourself in the process. Amara smiled faintly. I'm finding myself. Months passed. Exams came, and Amara performed beyond expectations. But success didn't come instantly after that. She applied for opportunities. Rejections came. I'm sorry, but you're not selected. Again and again. Each rejection hurt, but it didn't stop her. Instead, she adjusted, improved, tried again. Meanwhile, her former classmates moved forward easily, backed by connections and privilege. Still trying? One of them asked when they crossed paths. Amara nodded. Yes. You should consider something more realistic. Amara smiled slightly. I am. Time passed. Then one day, everything changed. An email arrived. She read it once, then again. Her hands trembled. Congratulations. She had been accepted. Not just accepted, recognized. It was the breakthrough she had been working toward. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just sat there, breathing slowly, letting it sink in. Then she whispered, this is just the beginning. From there, her journey accelerated. She worked harder than ever, built something from scratch, faced new challenges, but this time, she was prepared. Years passed, and then the moment came. The same people who once laughed now stood in a crowded hall, waiting. A voice echoed through the speakers. Please welcome. Amara stepped onto the stage. Silence. Then applause. Real, loud, undeniable applause. She looked out at the crowd and recognized familiar faces. The same ones. The ones who laughed. The ones who doubted. Now, they watched her. Some in shock. Some in regret. After the event, a few approached her. Amara, it's been a long time, one said awkwardly. She nodded. It has. We always knew you'd do something, another added, forcing a smile. Amara held their gaze calmly. No, you didn't. They fell silent. I did, she continued softly. And that was enough. They didn't know what to say. She didn't need them to. As she walked away, she felt something she hadn't felt before. Not revenge.
Peace.
Because she had proven something, not to them, but to herself. Later that evening, she stood alone, looking out over the city. Her phone buzzed. Messages. Congratulations. Opportunities. She smiled. Then she said quietly, this is for every moment I almost gave up. She paused. And didn't. If you've made it this far, you already know this story isn't just about Amara. It's about anyone who has ever been laughed at, doubted, or ignored. If that's you, don't stop. Because one day, the same people who doubt you today will witness your success in silence. And when that day comes, make sure you remember this moment. Now, before you go, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. Tell me, have you ever been underestimated? Your story might inspire someone else. Because sometimes, all it takes is one person who refuses to give up.